there are two things that I feel like are really kind of hot topics today that are certainly going to be a challenge for you, but are going to be a challenge for a lot of our listeners. So one of those items is public scrutiny, and we touched on that. The media does a great job of making us out to be horrible, we're just in it for the profit and all this other stuff. And then we've got a newer issue that has come to light, which is our carbon footprint and our environmental impact as a business aviation industry. One of the other stats that I read from one of the industry sources, business aviation accounts for 0.04% of man-made carbon emissions in the world. So it's a pretty low number right now.
Right.
And yet, we're still making strides to be more efficient. We want to be a good steward of the earth. We don't want to leave a large carbon footprint. We want to do our part in making sure that this world is here for a long time for our kids and their kids and whatnot. But we're starting to see some environmentalists doing some things, certainly in Europe, where they're spray painting business aircraft because, they're so terrible. The reality is there's a lot of other terrible industries out there that are much worse than ours, but we're great media attention. People love to see a spray painted business jet. And so we're an easy target, yet we're still like one of the lowest impacts on the carbon emissions. So I want to talk a little bit about that, but first, public scrutiny. We talked about the fact that you make a very conscious effort to make your airplanes an airborne office where work is being done or you're sleeping, right? Those are the two things you're allowed to do on these airplanes. I can kind of see you getting in the back and doing your briefing.
I'll keep them in line.
Here's the emergency exits. And there's no having fun on this airplane.
No, we have to have fun.
Okay.
After we get our work done.
All right.
Of course.
All right. You 5-hour flight. The last hour is set aside for fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So, public scrutiny. What have you experienced, and what do you do proactively to make sure that that you're being a good steward to the world and that you're conveying your company in the best possible light?
Well, this is more of an organizational front for our company, right? We are very, very much active in what our carbon footprint is. Our company actually we measure the entire enterprise's carbon footprint, and we'll buy offsets for all of that. But us as an aviation department as well, again, we try to keep a low profile, but there's also options out there that are now just coming into the market that we can participate in to be even better stewards of the environment, right? We all need to do what we can, for sure. The SAF fuels that are coming out, right? Those are becoming more and more popular. They're still quite expensive, right? So there's a cost for being green, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we have to do, right? People don't seem to mind that yet, and as that becomes more commonplace, we would expect the cost of that to come down, right? So there's options and opportunities out there for sure that are becoming available as the technology gets better. But I think what folks have to consider is these airplanes have been decades in development, right? So as the new airplanes come out, well, yeah, they perform better and they might be more fuel efficient and such, but this carbon footprint thing is really just a recent hot button item, right? And so the industry's getting better, but now they're accelerating what that improvement's going to be to meet the needs of what the regulators are going to require, what the public wants to see, right? So, just be a little bit patient, right? But we're getting there, right? So, this green energy thing, maybe the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, these airplanes were designed in the 80s and 90s,
right?
right? So we're getting there, and there's a lot of opportunity that I think most operators are seeking and will begin to operate with.